Alright, ranking every Inquisitor by their competence. I just got done cleaning my dog's puke off the ground. Let's get into it.
I'm sorry for putting the 11th brother so low, as his design is one of the coolest there is.
Nah, literally. He looks better than this motherfucker. Who the fuck is that guy?
In general, most Inquisitors do shine through their rather unique designs, which all look pretty great to be completely frank. However, they
That one doesn't.
shine through their rather unique design.
Okay, this one, the Grand Inquisitor looked cool in Rebels, but then when they put him in live action, he looked like shit. This one looks not good either.
Great, to be completely frank. However, they sadly mostly shine through utter incompetence at their job to hunt Jedi despite their sick designs.
Yes.
The 11th brother to me
Nah, this one has the most aura out of all of them. Besides the guy who turned into a fart. He turned into a fart in the end, so.
He is the best representative of this common problem that the Inquisitors face, becoming more villains of the weak instead of feared Jedi hunters that should make any Jedi tremble for their lives. He was the Inquisitor introduced in Tales of the Jedi. His true identity remains a mystery, as his name and history as a Jedi before the rise of the Empire have never been revealed. The 11th brother was sent to a remote farming village after the Empire received a tip about a Jedi hiding among the locals. That Jedi was...
It's so weird seeing Obi-Wan with a mullet in a
after
Clone
the
Wars
Empire
animation
received a tip
style.
about a Jedi.
Oh my gosh. Why does he look like that? He should not look like that. He should not look like that. It's cursed. Get it off my screen. Get it away.
Jedi hiding among the locals. That Jedi was Ahsoka Tano, who had returned to the village after delivering a harvest. When she arrived, she found the settlement all set on fire and the 11th brother waiting for her. Recognizing Ahsoka immediately, the 11th brother engaged her in battle.
Well, because that little shit kid snitched on her and thought he would get a reward. Didn't he end up getting killed because of it?
Despite his training, he was quickly outmatched by an unarmed Ahsoka, who managed to disarm him and kill him using his own lightsaber in one quick move.
Okay, but that's just showing how badass Ahsoka is, though. Like, this guy's just shit at his job. He looks cool. he's just shit. He might be the worst one. He might be the worst one, but you gotta admit it was cool. Like Buddy Pines in The Incredibles said, "Come on, you gotta admit this is cool."
What a shame. The only feat we see him do is burn down the village, and that's it. Obviously, he could have fared better.
Bro probably took a lighter and some gasoline and was like... Bro probably did this. He probably went... He probably pulled that.
Against other Jedi, but with what we saw, I think last place is well deserved. Next up is the 6th brother, who was once a Jedi named Bill Valen. Early in his training...
Wait, was this the... Bill? His name is Bill? Wait, hold on.
Is the 6th brother, who was once a Jedi named Bill Valen.
His name was Bill. Okay. Wasn't this guy the one that got killed by flying away and then his lightsaber broke and he fell to his death?
Early in his training with the other Inquisitors, Darth Vader severed his lower arm during a training session, teaching him the brutal reality of the program he had devoted himself to, and also further pushing him down the dark side. He participated in several missions, including a hunt for the Jedi Padawan Farron Barr on Mon Cala. There, the clone purge
Mon Cala? I went to Mon Cala?
Trooper turned on them, and the 6th brother fled by chopping off the 9th sister's leg to make her a sacrificial lamb, so to say. Later, and this will sound very familiar to the 11th brother, he seeked a greater challenge and traveled to the moon Rada, tracking a rumored Jedi. To lure the Jedi out of hiding, he started killing some of the farmers and taped himself doing it. His plan worked, and his target revealed herself to be none other than Ahsoka Tano. Despite being unarmed, Ahsoka was able to hold her ground against him, and then used the Force to pull the Kyber crystals from his lightsaber, causing the spinning lightsaber to overload and explode.
Wait, so was it the same one, or did she just use the same fucking trick again?
Despite being unarmed, Ahsoka was able to hold her ground against him, and then use the Force to pull the Kyber crystals from his lightsaber, causing the spinning lightsaber to overload and explode. The resulting blast killed the sixth brother instantly. Ahsoka later purified the crystals from his weapon, using them to craft her iconic
Oh, okay. So it's just another one that's shit. Just another one that shit at his job.
white lightsabers. So yeah, another Inquisitor who couldn't beat an unarmed Ahsoka, thus low on the list you go. Also, extra minus points for chopping off the ninth sister's leg.
Oh, right. This one's a female. I forgot about that.
Speaking of which, the ninth sister was once a Jedi Knight known as Masana Tide and is a female of the Do'Utan species. She fell to the dark side after
Yeah, so she's one
Masana
of
Tide and is a female of the Do'Utan.
these motherfuckers. The big guys. Big man's back. WWW, that's the kid from Brooklyn.com.
Species. She fell to the dark side after being captured and tortured by the Empire, breaking under the pressure and eventually joining the Inquisitorius.
Wait, I gotta watch that
Just
video
by
again.
looking at her stature
I gotta
and
watch that
size.
video again. New tab. www. Big man's back. Big man's back. What? Why is there's no audio? Oh. The tab is muted? No, the player is muted.
It was so fun. Hey, the big man's back.
No, where's the full version?
Drug
Why is it when I look this up, it brings up SpongeBob Big Man, Big Guy?
ever made. It was so fucking good. The government, they were putting the fucking drug dealers out of fucking business. Non-narcotic, non-addictive. Bring back the fucking Quaaludes. You can take all the fucking cocaine, marijuana, and all them fucking designer drugs they make today and stick them up your fucking ass. There's nothing like a fucking Quaalude. I tell you, they were the fucking best having sex on a Quaalude. Hey, the big man's back.
www. That's the kid from Brooklyn.com.
You ever see them signs on the highway billboards years ago? I'd walk a mile for a camel, or they used to have cigarette commercials. The guy used to... Big man would walk 20 miles for a Quaalude. Let me...
Where is this man at? I need to know. That big man's back.
You'd think she's quite a menace and a formidable foe, right?
www.
Well, this
That's
couldn't
the
be
kid
further
from
the truth, sadly. During a
Brooklyn.com.
training session, Vader carved out one of her eyes to teach her a lesson. On Mon Cala, she got her leg chopped off by the sixth brother during their mission. Most notably, though, she gets beaten by a barely trained Padawan Cal Kestis on Kashyyyk, where she lost her right hand as well as a huge slash to her backside before being pushed off the tree canopy into the Shadowlands below. But to give her props, she managed to survive each and every single one of these limbs being chopped off. Finally, she once again duels Cal Kestis.
Yeah, I was
on
gonna say, doesn't she also get killed in Survivor? Like, I remember killing her.
Coruscant, who beats her with relative ease before he finally beheads her when she makes a final desperate charge. I do kinda feel bad for her though, but Cal did release her from her tormented life of having each of her limbs being replaced by cybernetics due to the many losses she managed to accumulate. I guess she is quite a big target. Next up is Twi'lek Yulana, who was a Twi'lek and whose Inquisitor designation remains unknown. Him and another Inquisitor, Isket, had built a great friendship throughout the Clone Wars and had the rank of Jedi Knight, in fact. He was part of the Jedi who was rushed to knighthood due to the lack of generals during the Clone Wars. When Order 66 was issued, Twi'lek was betrayed by
Okay.
Isket and left to die as she chose to join Palpatine's cause. However, he managed to survive his injuries and was then converted to an Inquisitor. He then had a short duel with Isket after becoming an Inquisitor where he beat her due to Isket getting overwhelmed with her feelings for him. He eventually
Okay.
gets killed by Vader when his relationship with Isket is discovered. There
Oh.
isn't much to say on him, and it's not too clear to me
Well,
how
if Vader can't if Vader can't have Padme, you can't have your fine shit either.
Strong he really was, but considering he was granted knighthood by the Jedi, albeit being rushed, I think he must be quite strong still. Also, he did block a lightsaber from Vader that was supposed to kill Esket, which I'll grant him extra points for. Tu-Alan's sister in crime was the 13th Sister. She was once a Jedi Knight named Isket Akaris. As a Jedi, she was a Padawan when the war just broke out, even being present during the first Battle of Geonosis and witnessing her master being killed by a Geonosian soldier. Just like Tu-Alan, she alongside Anakin Skywalker were
Wait, so I get the jealousy thing from Vader, and if it's probably a personal vendetta against your students, technically, having relations with each other as Force users, because Anakin grew up and was told not to do that. Every Jedi, except for Ki-Adi-Mundi, of course, because his species was going extinct, which he eventually died, so his species probably went extinct anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But Anakin was always told that he wasn't allowed to do that. He probably, if Padme had lived and he had still gone on with the Inquisiting stuff and all that stuff, he probably would have been okay with it. But because Padme died, he's like, no, fuck no, you don't get to have happiness. I don't get to have happiness. Fuck you. And killed them. Probably both of them.
Together. However, she was sent on a very few missions for the Jedi, leaving her frustrated to not be able to take a bigger part in the war. During a short meeting with Chancellor...
So she pulled a Reva, is what we're saying.
Palpatine, she revealed to him her frustrations with the Order, making him aware of her susceptibility to the dark side. Throughout her time as a Jedi, she had grown a special bond with Tu-Alan. After Order 66 was issued, she was spared by the clones on order of Palpatine and brought to Coruscant. There, the Grand Inquisitor made her the 13th Sister, and she joined their ranks.
So, Palpatine was just out here sparing random Jedi? He was like, nah, that one's fine. They'll probably be weak enough to be an Inquisitor. Like, what? Since when did he do that?
There, she met up with Tu-Alan once again, and the two fought. During their fight, she realized that she still had affection for him. Years later, the two worked together on numerous missions, including the hunt for Jedi Master Eth Koth. However, their growing bond became their downfall.
I thought for sure... Wait, didn't that guy die to Palpatine? Literally? Like, didn't literally Palpatine kill him in the Chancellor's chambers?
Upon their return to Coruscant,
right before killing
Vader,
Mace Windu?
now that he had spent some time with them on the mission, sensed their connection and viewed their relationship as betrayal. Without hesitation, he ignited his blade to strike the 13th Sister down, but his blade was caught by Tu-Alan. The two lovers managed to escape, and a chase ensued through the streets of Coruscant. Vader caught up with them eventually and used the Force to lift them up and impale each other with their own lightsabers. I'm not sure if this ranking is right, but
That's
considering
crazy.
Palpatine himself saw potential in her, it is quite a shame that she didn't seem to have achieved much. Heck, she even lost to the 7th Sister in some of their sparring sessions.
Nah.
So, yeah, I think she's well off here. The 4th Sister...
He was probably just like, she looks like a Sith. She looks like a Sith, so let's make her one. Technically. Chat, subscribe.
Let's up those numbers!
Orlin Rakish was part of the Nogratu species.
I remember her.
And was a former close friend of Barriss Offee during their time as fellow Jedi. After surviving Order 66, she joined the Inquisitorius, and due to her connection with Barriss, she spoke out in her favor to take her into the Inquisitorius program.
Wait. She was the one in Obi-Wan? Oh, so... Fuck, I keep forgetting to do that. So she was the one in Obi-Wan and, in Tales of the Sith, or Tales of the Empire.
After Barriss converted to their side, she frequently went on missions with her in the name of the Empire. But Lynn's cruelty eventually made Barriss turn back to the light side and leave the Inquisitors. Years later, Lynn tracked a Force-sensitive child...
By the way, I thought this was a good story. I thought this was a good... one of the only good parts about Tales of the Empire was the Inquisitors. I don't remember if that was the whole point of the series, but I thought it was good. it's when they get to Tales of the Underworld where it's not as good.
To an ice planet,
my
and to
opinion.
her surprise, the child's guardian was none other than Barris. She tried to hit Barris, but Barris simply dodged her strikes to buy the
Because
family
Tales
time.
of the Underworld was barely Tales of the Underworld. It was only the Underworld because it had to do with Ventress and Cad Bane, which are bounty hunters. That's the only reason they called it that.
Time to escape into a labyrinth of ice caves. Lynn realized that Barris was just stalling and left for the ice cavern. Before leaving Barris behind, Barris gave her a word of caution, telling her that she'd never return from the cavern should she enter it. Lynn, though, ignored the message and went after the family into the labyrinth.
Yep.
In the caverns, though, she quickly realized that Barris's warning became true, and she got trapped in the labyrinth. Furious at her state and becoming desperate, Barris's voice then appeared, offering Lynn a way out of the cavern and asking her to leave the Inquisitor's ways behind, calling out her fear. Lynn became even more desperate and started slashing the icy walls before accidentally stabbing Barris, who had come to show her the way out. Lynn caught Barris's limp body, overcome with remorse. Barris forgave her, and Lynn then carried Barris's body out of the cavern under her guidance. It's unknown what happened to either of them after that. I really don't know where to put her as in power level, but we haven't seen her
I do want to know what happens after. Because, like, that was after Obi-Wan, right? I assume?
fight anyone notable aside from Barris, who completely outclassed her. Thus, I'd rank her rather low for it. Next up, the fifth brother. He was a former Jedi initiate from the planet Artemisium and
At least this guy kind of looked cool.
grew disillusioned with the Jedi
He was a big brute, though.
Order after witnessing the Republic's disregard for his home world. After the fall of the Republic, he willingly joined the Inquisitors. Although he did see himself as incredibly strong and above someone like the third sister Reva, we never actually
Oh my god, they made him
see
look so
himself as
fucking
incredibly
dumb
strong and above
in
someone like the third.
the Obi-Wan show. Why does he look like that? He doesn't look anything like the animated version. Same thing with the Grand Inquisitor. They don't look anything like they're supposed to.
Third sister Reva, we never actually see him
At
follow
least they made Lynn look like she's supposed to.
through on any of it.
Somewhat.
During the hunt for Kenobi, he's kinda just there, but we literally never see him fight. Instead, he just bullies Reva around a bit, and that's it, never making any effort to actually hunt for Kenobi. So yeah, in my eyes, he's just a huge yapper and nothing more.
Yes.
Following the death of the Grand Inquisitor at the hands of the Ghost Crew, the fifth brother, alongside the seventh sister, were tasked with hunting the two Jedi responsible for the death of the Grand Inquisitor. He clashed multiple times with Kanan and Ezra, as well as fighting Ahsoka
Many
on
times.
2 occasions. Sadly, though, he rarely achieved anything, most of the time being bested quite comfortably by Kanan or even Ezra. However, to give him props, at least he didn't die to them ever, and did usually put them on the run. During his final encounter with the Ghost Crew on Malachor, the fifth brother, along with the seventh sister and eighth brother, engaged the rebels in battle. However, unfortunately for them, Darth Maul was also
Yep. Unfortunately for you, Darth Maul is also part of this fight, so you're cooked.
on Malachor and had teamed up with the rebels. After Ahsoka slashes his lightsaber apart, Maul swooshes in and kills the fifth brother. Probably a more solid Inquisitor, as he did at least manage to fend off Maul and Ahsoka for some time on Malachor, but still ultimately hasn't done much else. The seventh sister was a Mirialan
Didn't they bring that one guy in for the fight on Malachor and he died in that one episode? Because I'm pretty sure he wasn't in any of the episodes before that. And he died.
Inquisitor and was trained
So
by
where the fuck did that guy get ranked? Was that the guy that Ahsoka pulled the crystals out of his saber or whatever?
none other than Jedi Master Isla
No, it
Secura.
wasn't, because Ahsoka didn't have her sabers yet.
Early in her time
So
as
where
an
the fuck are we ranking that guy? He died in one episode.
Inquisitor, she developed a rivalry with the 13th sister.
Maybe he did
often
more in the
engaging
comics, I
sparring
don't know,
matches
but
during training sessions.
in the
In
show,
one
he
of
was
these training
horrible.
sessions, the 13th sister threw spider bats at her with the Force.
Bro tried
This
to fly
inspired her
away
to
on a
start
broken
using Seeker
lightsaber.
droids to help her on her missions. She also used the Seeker droids once to electrocute the 13th sister as revenge for her getting injured during one of the sparring matches, and enjoyed her sister's pain a lot. After the death of the Grand Inquisitor, the seventh sister worked closely with the fifth brother, primarily targeting the Ghost Rebel crew. She frequently clashed with Kanan and Ezra, however failed repeatedly to beat the Jedi duo. At one point, her hunt for the duo also led her to confront Ahsoka Tano. However, Ahsoka quickly outmatched her, beating her without even using a lightsaber and completely embarrassing her. Alongside the fifth brother, she engages Maul, Ahsoka, and Kanan on Malachor and does hold her own for some time. But like most Inquisitors, she was too arrogant in her own abilities and decided to confront Maul and Ezra by herself. Maul quickly broke her Force shield and choked her with the Force, lifting her in the air and holding her there for Ezra to strike down. Ezra hesitated, and the seventh sister thought for a second she could break free from Maul's choke and strike at Ezra. Maul, though, didn't let that happen. After she released herself from Maul's choke, he threw his double-bladed lightsaber at her, slicing her upper body in half and instantly killing her. Overall, I'd say she's on a similar power level to the fifth brother, just a bit more cunning. Perhaps that's why I put her above him, as the fifth brother's just more of a brute. Next in line of the Malachor trio, the eighth brother. He was a Tyrellian Django jumper who wanted to claim...
I feel like he only put him in eighth because he's the eighth brother. No, this guy sucks. This guy sucks!
The title of Grand Inquisitor for himself after the demise of aforementioned Grand Inquisitor.
Wait.
The eighth brother...
Wait, he made himself the Grand Inquisitor? He made himself the Grand Inquisitor? This guy's so corny.
Theo, the eighth brother. He was a Tyrellian Django jumper who wanted to claim the title of Grand Inquisitor for himself after the demise of aforementioned Grand Inquisitor. The eighth brother thus started to hunt the former Sith Lord Maul, whom he only knew as the Shadow. The eighth brother eventually pursued Maul to the Sith world of Malachor, where he hoped to capture or eliminate him. To his surprise, though, he found Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka there and engages them for a short while by himself, though he is mostly just fleeing from the trio. He is very acrobatic and quick, as that was kind of part of his species' biology, and does actually seem like a genuine threat every time he engages them. He even manages to beat Kanan on one occasion on top of the temple. But
the fact that Vader sent 3 of them in there and none of them came out alive, and Vader didn't immediately just kill the rest of the Inquisitors and shut down the program after that. Like, bro, you sent 3 of them in there and they did not shit. They did not shit so much that you had to go in there and do it yourself. Bro, just get rid of it. Throw the whole thing away. Throw them all away.
As the fight went on, he eventually started losing ground, especially after the seventh sister and fifth brother both died. This led to his lightsaber being damaged, and as he tried to fly away with it, it malfunctioned mid-flight, sending him plummeting to his death in the depths of Malachor. Cool design. I always liked him. I'd say he deserves this spot for holding his own against Ahsoka and Maul, as well as beating Kanan. The 10th brother was a blind Miraluka and was once the Jedi Master Prosit Dibs. This made him probably the highest-ranking Inquisitor.
What? There was a Jedi Master on the Inquisitorius? Weird.
He wasn't a mere Padawan or knight before being converted. During the Clone Wars, Dibs was actually outcast after he attacked Mace Windu on one of their missions, as he started to believe that the Jedi had strayed too far from their original path. But he was swiftly defeated by Windu and...
Well, I mean, he's right for attacking Mace Windu, not gonna lie. Mace Windu is, like, one of the few Jedi that didn't actually follow the code. And, like, actively went against it whenever it was convenient for them. That's crazy.
For the High Council, and assigned to the Jedi Archive so he could reflect on his viewpoints. After Order 66, with the fall of the Order, he abandoned the Jedi way completely and joined the Inquisitorius, taking on the title of the 10th Brother. As an Inquisitor, he participated in the mission to Mon Cala, where he and a few other Inquisitors pursued Farron Bar. The 10th Brother was caught off guard by the Purge troopers that were turned by Bar and was swiftly executed by the clones, making him one of the earliest confirmed Inquisitors to die during the reign of the Empire. The reason I have him so high on the list, despite his only feat being to die to the Purge troopers, is because he was a Jedi Master, which must mean he has some more pedigree over the other Inquisitors. The rank of Master was not one to be easily reached, and required a lot of knowledge in the Force. And to his defense, just like the other Jedi Masters during...
No, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of shit. No, he doesn't deserve to be this high. Bro, he joined at the beginning and got killed. He joined at the beginning of the Empire and got killed. At least the other ones lasted into the Empire. How do you become a Master? Join the Inquisitorius. and die at the beginning of the program.
66, he was surprised by the clones, which led to his death. Perhaps he would have been quite strong, actually, but for now, this is the spot I gave him. Okay, look, I know she's unpopular, and I don't like her either, but just from a power and competency standpoint, we do have to give Reva, also known as the third
Yeah, because she survived being stabbed 3 fucking times for some reason.
sister, some credit. She was a youngling who survived Order 66 despite being stabbed, as she just clung onto her hatred for Anakin. In circumstances that are unknown to us, she ends up being found in the gutter as the Grand Inquisitor describes, and was then trained as an Inquisitor. As an Inquisitor, she made it her sole mission to get revenge on Vader, and her way to get there was to find Obi-Wan Kenobi, as that was the only Jedi left that would be of interest to Vader and would get her a promotion that way. Once she was the Grand Inquisitor, she thought she'd be close enough to Vader to kill him. So she then dedicated as much of her time as possible to find Kenobi and even succeeded in drawing
At
Kenobi.
least she had a plan. I mean, I'll give her that. At least she had a competent plan, even though she was never going to best Vader, and Vader outsmarted her anyway. At least she thought of something and was actively working towards something.
Be out of hiding. This is actually quite a big feat, even though it was super convoluted in the way she drew Kenobi out, and it opens a myriad of other plot holes, but still, if we just look at it on the surface level, she did succeed at her job. Obviously, we don't see her win any fights, but she does manage to incapacitate the Grand Inquisitor by stabbing him. Throughout the Kenobi show, we see her actually achieve her goal of getting close to Vader, and thank the Lord she got absolutely humiliated by him, as he doesn't even bother drawing his own weapon to kill her. But somehow she does survive being stabbed twice, and even managed to fly across the galaxy with a stab wound, and miraculously heals. Thus, she has powers we just don't know anything about. But just for the people who'll be hating on me for this, I'll put her at the number 10 spot. Down you go, Reva. Goodbye.
Damn.
Coming into the top 5, we have the second sister, who was formerly the Jedi Padawan Trilla Siduri. After the fall of the Jedi Order, Trilla and her master Seer hit a group of younglings from the Empire.
Not gonna lie, this is probably a good place to put her.
Her master Seer
I still haven't played this game, but I know she's like the main villain.
was captured, revealed the hiding spot of
I've
Trilla.
only
and
played Survivor, to be clear. Out of those 2 games, I've only played Survivor, the second one.
younglings. The Empire quickly dispatched purge troopers and other inquisitors to their location,
Damn, who is that baddie?
capturing Trilla. As Trilla felt betrayed and left alone by her
Was
master
that her?
Seer, she started to succumb to the dark side from the
Oh,
Empire's
shit,
torture
that's her.
and blamed all her suffering and pain on her master. As an Inquisitor, the second sister was probably the most ambitious and cruel Inquisitor of them all, taking great joy in chasing and tormenting her prey. Although we don't know anything about her other missions, we get a good glimpse of her during her hunt for Cal Kestis. She had an incredibly menacing presence, and every time she showed up, you knew you were having trouble. Trilla managed to track Cal down, engaging him on 2 occasions, and succeeding in acquiring a holocron with a list of Jedi younglings. In a final duel, she's beaten by Cal at the Fortress Inquisitorius, though. With Trilla being beaten and at her weakest moment, she showed a rare moment of vulnerability and began to reconcile with Seer. However, before any sort of redemption could take root, Darth Vader arrived at the scene of the battle. All he remarked was that the second sister had failed him, and then executed her without any further hesitation. Now, what makes her stand out from any of the other Inquisitors on this list so far? Well, she actually friggin' wins at some point. She manages to get the holocron.
Why did that picture make her look like
list
that?
so far? Well, she
Whatever this screenshot is, did her
actually
dirty.
friggin' wins at some point. She manages to get the holocron and also defeats Cal. So for that alone, she deserves this high of a spot, despite not having dueled the likes of Maul or Ahsoka. The first brother Marrok was an Inquisitor introduced in the Ahsoka series. He survived Order 66 and was offered to become an Inquisitor. As their member, he was referred to as the First Brother.
Missed opportunity to name him Merrick, make him be the main antagonist of the show, and make it be Galen Merrick, Star Killer. Missed opportunity, but they might be doing it in season 2.
Likely meaning he was one of the first
But he probably won't be an Inquisitor. He'll probably just be living on whatever the fuck that planet's called.
to join their ranks, and we do see
He
that
probably
he's very-
was sent there by Vader because he's too powerful to continue to be allowed to be unleashed. on the galaxy.
Skilled. He was thus present when Barriss Offee was recruited into the Inquisitorius, although he was more in the background. At some point, he was sent to hunt down Darth Maul, and likely he perished there, although that's unconfirmed and just a rumor at the point of this video. Years later, Morgan Elsbeth revived Marrok's dead body with the help of Night Sister magic, having him help her relocate Grand Admiral Thrawn alongside Baylan Skoll and his Padawan Shin Hati. In her missions for Morgan, we see
Shin Hati.
him not only going toe-to-toe with the New Republic in a
Shin
starfighter,
Hati.
but also single-handedly fending off Ahsoka in their first duel. Finally, though, in their second duel on Cedos, Marrok, despite putting up a good fight against one of the strongest Force users in the galaxy at that point, was beaten after being slashed across the torso by her. In his second demise, green mist came from his body as the Night Sister magic left him, and he died for good. But for this feat, I'd say he's definitely one of the strongest Inquisitors we've seen ever, and is well up there as one of the most competent Inquisitors. Coming in at number 3 is actually the newest member in the Inquisitorius. This Inquisitor was introduced this year in the Tales of the Underworld series as an antagonist to Ventress. It's still unknown what his designation was, nor what his name is at this point in time. However, going by the list, I'll just call him the 14th brother. Or, if you prefer a name, his voice actor's called Daniel Ross, so Daniel would also be fitting, I guess. Just like all
His
the
name
Inquisitors,
is Daniel.
he was a former
Imagine looking at that face and you're like, yep, that's Daniel. That's Daniel.
Jedi and ended up in their ranks. One day, he hunted down the Jedi
Yep, that's
Padawan
Daniel.
Lycostrata to a remote desert world. To his surprise, the Padawan was being helped by none other than Asajj Ventress, who had kept a low profile due to Force-sensitive beings being hunted across the galaxy, but decided to help the Jedi escape. The Inquisitor ignited his lightsaber and engaged Ventress in a duel. He was incredibly strong and held his own very well against the former apprentice of Count Dooku, managing to knock her into the ground several times. He even managed to beat Ventress using 2 lightsabers, managing to disarm her completely. When he was about to deliver the final blow, though, Lyco managed to sneak up behind him and stab him through the back with Ventress's lightsaber. And with that, one of the strongest performances of an Inquisitor against someone as strong as Ventress. Congratulations, Daniel! You are officially the strongest Inquisitor we've ever seen, and should be granted the Grand Inquisitor title immediately. At number 2, I've got
Good shit, Daniel.
Barriss Offee. She was once a dedicated Jedi Padawan under Jedi Master Luminara Unduli. However, we all saw how she betrayed the Order and her friend Ahsoka. Throughout her life, though, we see her going toe-to-toe with Anakin Skywalker.
It was very clear that... Remember when the seventh sister... the seventh sister, or whatever the fuck her name was, from Rebels, was revealed, and everyone thought she was Barriss? I actually did for, like, forever, until this show. Eventually realized that, no, she was just a different Inquisitor for a period of time. But it was very obvious that Barriss wouldn't have been eliminated. That she would have been considered as an Inquisitor, or considered for the Inquisitorius program. Obviously, because, like, she literally turned against the Jedi and tried to kill them. So, like, why would you not consider her for the program?
Of all people, as well
Why
as
would you
Asajj
just
Ventress,
eliminate her?
despite being beaten by the former. Still, her duel with him did show how strong she could be if she was fighting for her life. After the fall of the Order, she was recruited into the Inquisitorius by the Grand Inquisitor after killing 2 other Jedi to win her place. We do see her spar with the Grand Inquisitor as well, but she's beaten by him mostly before managing to land one force push on him. However, I do think this could be attributed to her being a bit rusty, as she'd been locked up for quite some time at that point. As a full-fledged member of the Inquisitor, we don't really see her do any crazy feats though, not even which Jedi she hunted, if even any at all. Eventually, she turns on the Inquisitor.
I wish we
because
did
she
get
never
to see
felt
that,
quite
though.
right there, and becomes a wandering healer, turning back to the light side of the Force and most likely being stronger than ever. Years later, her paths with the Inquisitors would cross again while helping a family with a Force-sensitive child. The child was tracked down by her former friend Lyn. Barriss then offered to distract the Inquisitor long enough for the family to escape, but is accidentally stabbed in the effort after trying to talk sense into Lyn. I'm not sure if she survived, but it's more likely than not, I'd say. Finally, at number 1, was there ever even a doubt? It's of course the Grand Inquisitor. He was a male Pauan and the leader of the Inquisitorius. Before becoming an Inquisitor, he used to be a Jedi Temple Guard during the Clone Wars, achieving the Jedi Knight rank.
Which is
He
so
grew
cool.
disillusioned as the Jedi didn't grant him full access to the archives which he wanted to study, as well as after seeing Barriss talking up against the Jedi during her trial for her bombing. After Ahsoka,
Which is crazy, because he
after
could have
seeing
been...
Barriss talking up against the Jedi during her
He could have been one of them that's right behind her. One of these 3 could have been him. We
trial
just
for
don't
her
know.
bombing. After Ahsoka's trial, his faith in the Jedi was all but gone, and he started flirting with the dark side.
Mhm.
During Order 66, he trapped his fellow Temple Guards in a room, which is why they're absent during the fight in the Temple.
Yeah.
It's not clear if he potentially even killed each one of them himself. He saw that as his way of showing his loyalty toward the
Imagine.
new Empire. After the fall of the Republic, he got approached by the Emperor to serve under the Inquisitorius, and through that gain access to the Jedi archives. As the Grand Inquisitor, he served directly under Darth Vader, becoming one of the Empire's strongest tools in eradicating the Jedi. His knowledge of his former comrades, learned from the Jedi Temple records that he could now access, made him the most competent hunter, as just from seeing the fighting style of an opponent, he quickly knew how to adapt. Also, he was very proficient in Form 2 saber combat Makashi, the style that Count Dooku used. During his time as Inquisitor, he even got the chance to face and kill Jocasta Nu and was only
Wait.
stopped by Vader after beating her in a duel.
Wait, really? That's crazy.
There is the small mishap with Reva, I guess, where he gets stabbed, but it's Disney Star Wars, and somehow he returns and is back to normal. Sometime later, he faces off against the young Jedi Kanan Jarrus, who had just revealed himself. Kanan foolishly infiltrates the trap he'd laid out by using the deceased Luminara Unduli's body to lure Jedi to him, yet due to the help of Kanan's friends, the Grand Inquisitor fails to capture them. After that, he gets sent to Lothal to properly hunt the Jedi down. Throughout several confrontations, although being superior in every way, he failed to capture or kill Kanan and his apprentice Ezra. In a climactic duel on a Star Destroyer above Mustafar, Kanan defeated the Grand Inquisitor after reaching a moment of clarity in the Force, which guided Kanan to his victory over the technically far superior Grand Inquisitor. Having been beaten by Kanan and hanging from the edge of the reactor, the Grand Inquisitor chose to let go and fall to his death rather than face Vader's wrath for his failure.
Yeah.
Sadly for him, though,
Understandable.
he didn't die there. Darth Vader bound the Grand Inquisitor's spirit to a Jedi outpost on Tempest, forcing him to guard the site for eternity. Years
What?
later, Luke Skywalker encountered the fiery spirit of the Grand Inquisitor while
What?
searching for a new lightsaber. After a duel with Luke, he was defeated, and the Grand Inquisitor's punishment continued. When the Pauan begged for release, Darth Vader refused, leaving him imprisoned in his ghostly form to serve indefinitely. And that's where the story of the Grand Inquisitor ends, serving eternal punishment as his spirit is unable to pass into the Force.
Oh, nah, bro. He got sent to hell. What? What did bro do to get sent to hell? What did he do to get sent to hell? That's not fair. What the hell? Anyways, chat, this was a damn good video. I was already subscribed, and I will now definitely be staying subscribed. I liked the video. Y'all should do the same. Link in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna head out. I will see y'all later, or on one of my other 2 channels. MR Tonio, which is a new Marvel Rivals channel, or main channel, Tonio. I'll see y'all later.